Dawn of Beyonders. Dawn of Beyonders. Books of Forsaken Futures. Book 2. Written by Sean Nichols. Narrated by Chris Bazuzzi. News anchor. Transition. Mysteriously earlier today, 90% of the inmates in local jails simply vanished. Stranger yet, all of those remaining are amongst those that proclaim their innocence. No evidence has been found of their whereabouts. However, should you find any information, you are strongly advised to turn the information into the proper authorities. A short tune plays, and the cameras turn off. Standing from my chair, I walk around and through the green room to the break room. At my desk, a plain folder is sitting on my desk, with a sticky note attached. The note says, "I know you are reporting about my little game. Don't you worry your little bald head about it, because I like it. Keep up the good work. I will be sending you some material to report shortly." I open the folder, and the contents are amazing. I have my material for today and tomorrow night. Halo Skyen. Transition. What lies beyond what we perceive as time? If you can see the future, what do you call that area beyond what you can see? If you have infinite power, what do you call what is beyond that? The true face of infinity is our inability to describe it. It's things like this I wonder about before school while I wait for them. I stare at the sky and just think about it. The wind blows my short blonde hair softly. A sudden cold draft makes me glad to be wearing jeans and a thick black shirt. Even with my eyes closed, I can tell that shadow looming overhead is not dim. The cold wind from it alone could tell me that her heart is not amongst it. I open my eyes, looking into the empty skull of death. Instead of iris, strange floating energy indicates the direction of his gaze. Sorry to interrupt, light type, but I need your help. I roll backward and into a fighting stance. The force of planting my right foot forward pushes my meditation mat, a sheet of cardboard, away. Raising his hand calmly, he says, "I come in peace. I need your help." I hold my stance as I reply, "I hope you don't mind if I keep my guard for this discussion." "Not at all." He shakes his head, relaxing. "My apprentice disappeared and has not returned. I can't seem to track him anywhere, which leads me to believe that someone who knows his connections with me has taken him." "So, you have no clue where he is?" I step out of my fighting stance and lean against the old wooden fence that was off to my side and reply, "If you don't know, how do you expect me to?" "I don't. Not at the second, anyway. I just want your support for when I do find something. I have a feeling I will need your help. Can I count on you?" he asks, extending a bony hand, jutting from a black sleeve trimmed in gold. "Sure," I reply, shaking his hand. "But I don't want him bothering me anymore after this." "Deal," his hoarse voice croaks. "I will return when I have information." I nod, and he disappears. I wonder where Raihu is. Raihu EU. Transition. My eyes open in a room full of couches and seating, almost like a waiting room. The walls are silver and otherwise featureless. I have a window that peers outside to some kind of massive courtyard. Similar silver walls outline a massive room that could fit several football fields across. My only door leads to that courtyard. I reach for the handle and notice something odd on my wrist. A tattoo of some form. It appears to be a tribal dragon of some sort, wound up my arm and to my chest. At its mouth, some kind of machine embedded in my chest. The other end's at another head on my thumb. Where are my clothes? I should be wearing a camo trench with black slacks and a black shirt. Why am I wearing green workout pants? This door is locked. A voice comes over the speaker, jolting up in response does little to dissuade my mid-length black hair, swept to the left. "Becomes yourself, little and Raihu. Your time's be a-comin'." With that, the door disappears and the furniture arranges. A sticky note on one of the couches says, "Enjoy your stay. Feel free to customize the room as you may be here a while. Newt." Lovely. Hale. Transition. Shortly after Death left, Dem arrived. Her blue eyes and that smile of hers always brightens my day. Today, she is wearing a tie-dye shirt and light blue jeans. So, we sit together and enjoyed the sunshine. The world feels nice at this time in the morning. After a while, we hop on our bikes and begin to head to school. We cut through the parking lot of the apartment complex where Steve lives at the end of our block. Skidding between the building and the fence, I see a crowd of bikers around the corner behind us and head towards my home. Thinking nothing of it, we continue riding. As we ride through the construction zone, I try to think about how to break everything to Dem. I don't want Bud to have power over me, but I can't rush it. Yet, she needs to know that I am an augmentar, a werewolf, if you will. Granted, third stage has me with an extra set of arms and black demon wings, but still a werewolf. I look at the new buildings until I hear an ahem from Dem beside me. I look over her and she says, "Well?" "Can I get the question again?" I ask. "Whatever, you space cadet," she laughs. "I was saying that my stepdad has really taken a liking to you and might invite you on the family camp out. What do you think?" "Sure," I reply. "Don't see where that would be a problem." "Great!" She laughs with a devious smile, her medium-length blonde hair covering her eyes. What is she up to? Anyway, we pass the construction zone and hit the point where we correct our side of the road. It's strange. I see that biker gang from earlier coming back this direction. Stop being paranoid, Hale. But after my fight with Bud and his revelation of he and his neighbors being the round table of the previous light type, I don't know what to expect. After crossing the street, we take a side street. This side street leads to the path under the railroad tracks that we take to get to school. As we arrive at the cul-de-sac that connects the two, the bikers from earlier surround us by taking both sides of the bowl shape. Cutting us off, they turn off their bikes and step down. Crap. "Can we help you?" Dem asks. One of the center of the group, his bald head gleaming in the sun, retorts, "We've been locked up for quite a bit now. I reckon you just might be able to help us, little lady." They all laugh. Stepping in front of her, I pull into a fighting stance. "You won't be getting any closer to her!" "What are you gonna do, shrimp?" Another one laughs, some kind of orange jumpsuit worn below its leather vest and chaps. His red hair wild and long in all directions, clapping to his hand, an iron bar. "You know this metal will burn the hell out of you, boy." Metal burn? How do they know about that? Unless they must be Augmentar. I looked at Dem and echo. "I'm sorry you have to see this. I wanted to explain first, but I have no choice." I switch to my other form and catch the incoming bar with my upper left hand, kicking my would-be opponent in the chest. The bald one laughs. "Light type or not, you are well outnumbered," he growls and changes to a third stage with gray and black fur. The rest around him change as well, carrying various colors. Using my lower arms, I keep Dem behind me. Focusing as much energy as I can, I launch a dual solar blast to the air. Hopefully they get the signal. 2 massive beams of light ought to get the former round table down here, I hope. One of them jumps toward Dem from behind me. Reaching behind me, I grab him by the ears and slam him into the pavement in front of me. He bounces and skids across the pavement, shredded by the added pressure from the solar blasts I use as a follow-up. One goes for a claw to the face, and I grab his outstretched hand and fling him at another one that was approaching from behind. She screams as they circle around us. Whatever fighting style these guys are using doesn't appear to be an Augmentar style. But as they are all stage 3s, it's not possible for them to be new. Either way, I am too outnumbered right now. I spin around and grab onto her, lifting off into the air. Clumsily, they try to follow, flapping and flopping in random directions. I could swear they have no clue what they are doing. As she and I take to the air, I notice that I'm a bit less furry. Crap! I'm losing transformation! Calm down. Hale Skyen laughs. I haven't heard from my other self since my fight with Bud. He continues. You may not have noticed, but you actually made 4th stage during your fight with Bud. I had completely forgotten. I thought something strange was going on there. I haven't even been inside of my mind since then. No time for that now. Shots ring out around me. I look over my shoulder and now all of them are 4 stages. So, around 20 angels are following me with semi-automatic weapons. What is this about? And what is with that machine on their chests? Could it somehow be pushing them forward? The faster I try to fly, the faster they catch on and catch up. We land at the school and I grab a stick and jam it into the ground and declare, "None shall pass!" A field envelops the school in my opponent's land. This field, also known as Sanctuary, prevents passage dependent on the rules set on casting. One of them pulls a Leviathan heart out of their pocket and pushes it into the machine. He said you might do that, he laughs as energy arcs between his machine and those on his cohorts. No, he laughs as energy arcs between his machine and those in his cohort. He laughs as energy arcs between his machine and those on his cohorts. He said this would help. The arcing energy pulls them together into a figure of pure mass. Surrounded by arcing energy, they continue to form and morph. What exits the cocoon of energy could best be described as a what's it? A misshapen face with 3 sets of eyes and 9 sets of compounded wings, where the wings separate into 3 sets after the first joint. A sleeveless, white long coat adorns its body. It looks like a mishmash of their 4th stage cloaks. Its arms are as massive as the rest of it. No hair atop its head, and its ears are completely gone. I look to Dem. Go! Hide! I'll find you when I'm done with this guy! It begins to pound on Sanctuary while she runs. The thing about Sanctuary is that it can't be broken by show of force. Only by a stronger will than its creator, or by its creator. Being as about 20 of them were absorbed into that thing, it has the will of about 20 people focused into one. It begins to smash the wall. At first, it holds, but eventually begins to crack. The more it hits it, the harder it is to maintain. The cracks spread until the entire sanctuary is covered. It falls in a rain of light. It looks at the falling energy and laughs. Pretty lights. Can't say I'm surprised. Using a blast of light, I separate a pole from its base and throw it like a spear. Though it hits him square between the eyes, he simply absorbs it. Metal spikes replace his eyebrows. It looks down at me and launches them. Like a rain of lances, I have to dance around it to not get piked. Then it just reloads. It prepares to launch another set at me, and I hear a screaming from a distance behind me. Becoming distracted, I look at a 4th stage and all green flying off with Dem in his hands. I try to give chase, just in time to be impaled by a series of metal spears. Stuck in place here, this thing laughs behind me.
Pinned like pretty butterfly.
Then he grabs two of the spikes holding me in place and tries to move it. Spikes of burning pain surge through my body.
Dance, puppet, dance! Funny puppet, no dance!
It pulls the spikes out of the ground and turns me toward him.
Funny puppet, dance now!
Put me down, you! I say. Cut off? No. Put me down, you! Put me down, you! I say, cut off by it dropping me.
You were about to say something mean, weren't you?
It yells, about to cry. You would think being fused together would have made them smarter. It reaches down as Bud and another guy jump into the scene. Bud looks at me, his dark blonde hair too short to be affected by the wind, and yells, "Where's Demi?" Bud looks at me, his dark blonde hair too short to be affected by the wind, and yells, "Where's Dem?" "Some guy in green flew off with her while I was fighting this thing," I reply. He grits his teeth and clenches his fist. The other guy looks at him. "So the councilman betrayed you," he retorts. Bud glares at him. "We'll have to deal with that later. We need to kill this thing." I see them charge black spheres and unleash them on this thing. Then I black out. I hate metal burn. Raihu, transition. All I have seen is people fighting in the arena. Similar devices decorate their chests as what is on mine. Saw one match earlier where a bunch of Augmentar fought each other, and if one of them progressed, all of them also progressed. Given that the machine on their chest slid up, I wonder if they are the cause. Tamar S. Dark, transition. It's been what, 2 days since I saw the light type? Even though I followed the instructions of the guy in bloody rags, I am face to face with the Hall of Saints. Avoiding them has me moving in the opposite direction. What I can gather from spying on them is that they think that all the inmates disappearing is the devil gathering them for his army of hell. The line their wave creates pushes me towards where they think they are gathering the inmates. This could be bad. I pulled my fedora down and keep the collar of my gray overcoat up to prevent being recognized. Hale, transition. My eyes open and the world passes by quickly. Visible through the window nearby. The guy who was with Bud is sitting next to me. He laughs. "Welcome to the Greyhound, Hale. Only took you half a day to wake up." I try to get up and he motions for me to continue sitting. "Sorry, but you don't want to do that. It was hard enough to get you on here without anyone noticing you were unconscious. We investigated where they had left their bikes, and we found these." He fans out a handful of various bus tickets and such. These were their tickets to wherever they were going. We are guessing that is where they took Dem. Trying to keep my calm, I look at him and ask, "So, who are you?" He laughs and runs his hands through his short brown hair and says, "I am Damien Gen, Dem's biological father, former second in command to Ron and Chloe." He looks at me with his blue eyes, their color close to harvest moons, and says, "I came to check on her as I do from time to time and saw the blasts of light. Bud and I just happened to cross paths." "Where's Bud?" I ask. "Smoothing over the ice." He laughs. "He's telling your parents and everyone else that you guys are on a campout." "Works for me," I shrug. "How long are we on this bus?" "For about another hour, then we'll be in an area by Ukiah. From there, our only clue is one of their notes to catch a train that they drew a shoddy map to." He relaxes into the seat with his arms crossed. "Who do you think that was that took her?" I ask. I place money on Councilman Newt, but Bud remains skeptical. He says, then looks back at me. Is there anything you notice about them? Anything at all about your attackers that was out of the ordinary? A few things, actually. For starters, those devices on their chests. Also how they jumped stages and had no clue what they were doing. Also I begin to ramble, and he cuts me off, raising his hand. Is there anything else? He pulls out a notepad in after he gets caught up. Nice and easy. I continue. They were all wearing orange jumpsuits under their clothes. Bud re-enters the room, and Damien looks at him. I think we just found out what happened to the disappearing inmates. Bud replies, what does it have to do with our situation? Everything. Damien stands and heads towards the bathroom. Chances are, we are heading into a hornet's nest. Can you get a hold of the others? No. Bud replies, as Damien hands him his notes. Bud sits in the seats in front of me and reads them. Then looks back at me. You might be right. Do you have any way to contact your round table? I shake my head. Yeah, I can't get a hold of the others either.